So my name's Brad Smith. I drive the Burger Fuel Nissan 350Z. We've had that car for a few years now. We've come back competing since last season, 2013. We're back here in 2014 with some pretty cool modifications since last year. I've been drifting for approximately like 5 years, going back to about 2007 when I first got into it. When it was really new, to be honest. Had a break for 5 years, and last year was our first year back. After doing a few little family things, we decided to give it another punt. I think it's like doing skids on a racetrack the whole time. Yeah. I think that's what got me into it, you know. And probably the whole grassroots thing of it back then. It was a relatively cheap sport to get into. We purchased a Nissan Safiro, pretty much an old school taxi, and put an RB25 setup in, and away we went. You know, it was easy to get into, and it was fun. It was fun. Since last season, we've made heaps of changes to the car. Last year was really just an introduction for us back into the sport. We threw the car together in only 6 weeks, and it was a relatively standard form. You know, we had the VQ35, yes, it had some heads and a supercharger, but other than that, it was pretty standard, and a standard gearbox. So that was us just really testing the waters. We've gone away this season. We've gone and put a Brian Crow stroker kit in there, so that's got a full billet crank, rods, JE pistons, and bored that out from a 3.5 all the way to a 3.8. Throw that in with the heads and cams, you know, it ended up being a pretty good package on the dyno. Along with that, we had some gearbox problems last year down in Christchurch. We had to fly a gearbox in same day from Auckland to Christchurch, so that was definitely something we wanted to upgrade. We went and grabbed a 6-speed Quaife sequential out of a V8 Super Tourer. Threw that in there. I haven't even been out yet and used it, so I'm looking forward to banging out there today. And we went and grabbed the strain gauge off a V8 Supercar, just to ensure we can get those flat changes. It's going to be an interesting weekend. As you can see behind me, it's pretty wet here today. I know the forecast is looking to clear up a little bit later on, but then it's going to rain again tomorrow morning. So that means practice and qualifying, we could end up in the wet. Then come battle time, it's dry again. So what we're talking about there is two totally different setups, but all within a day. So what we're facing now is actually trying to set cars up for the rain and for the dry at the same time. Drifting, we're still searching for traction the whole time. Of course, in a lot of cases when it rains, it's like being on ice, you know, so we're looking to change that suspension to get grip. So some of the key things there would be lowering tyre pressures. That's a pretty obvious one. If that's not quite getting the grip you need, you're going to look to change the dampening and so forth on your suspension as well. And then you've got things like the pitch of your rear wing and things like that, really. You know, some guys have all got different ways they set it up. They may even turn around and change the total alignment setting themselves. But it's all different scenarios for different drivers. Yeah, it's definitely a lot different in the rain. When we're talking about rain, power's not really an issue. You can have 1,000 horsepower or probably 300 horsepower. When we're talking about rain, it's a very slow motion. That already fine line of making a mistake is even smaller. So you got to be really easy and really, really nice on the gas. You know, no real abrupt movements. Those are the things that are going to really make mistakes out there. In terms of battling, yeah, once again, really hard. You know, the guy in front of you brakes because he's spinning or something like that. Really hard to stop. Generally, there's a lot of carnage in the rain. So Manfield Raceway, awesome course. It's got to be one of my favourite. Pretty much we come down the front straight here. We've taken what is turn 1 in terms of the racetrack. That's not our initiation, but that's especially in terms of battles, a means for us to group as two drivers come around. As you come out of that hairpin, it's pretty much flat to the floor. Don't hold back. We're generally probably about second gear, pull third, and where we normally find ourselves is just as we are hitting the top of third gear, we'll actually pull fourth, click the clutch and create that initiation. The judges are really looking for us to be quite wide on that first initiation, but then as we come through into the next turn, they've got an inside clipping point. It's at that time that we've got a zone that we need to be within, a quick transition and a chop down, 1 gear to third, through the left-hand corner, and then very quickly it's a transition back to the right. And if you can, pull another gear up through there and hold tight until pretty much we've got another big hairpin. So, you know, if we're pulling 4th gear, we're getting up around 160, 180k, you know, in theory. That's what the car does anyway in that kind of gear. And then all of a sudden we've got a hairpin we've got to slow down for. You know, they've got a big outside zone. They pretty much want us to back it into it. So you back down to probably 3rd, maybe even 2nd, depending on your car and ratios, before coming out through that final turn. So qualifying was quite tough today. We had a pretty good early morning practice. Yeah, that went really, really well, and the car was looking great. We thought it had set up how we wanted, but unfortunately we had a spin on both qualifying runs. A little disappointing, but hey, as a whole, it's been a pretty successful weekend. You know, always going to be hard turning up here again with a brand new car that we haven't tested. We've got these brand new Hankook RS3 semis on the back now, and they're just so sticky in the transition and everything. It's total new world. Overall thoughts on the car? It's amazing the changes that we've made. You know, we've got the Brian Cross stroker kit in there now. It's all forged. We've got a bigger supercharger from Bullet Cars. That's working really well. And the guys at International Motorsport put that Quafe 6-speed sequential. That thing's amazing. Flat changes down the back. Everyone's talking about how the flames are blowing, and I'm looking forward to using it. You know, it's my first time today driving with a sequential, so that's something else we had to get used to, but there was a couple of times I think I grabbed the handbrake instead of the sequential. But, you know, that was to happen. In an ideal world, we would have got a lot more track time before turning up to this weekend. So my overall thoughts on the day, I'm a little disappointed with our results. Obviously the goal was to at least qualify. You know, would have liked to stand on a podium, but you know, once again, with a little bit more track time, I'm absolutely confident we've got a package that's very competitive. You know, just looking at what we did through practice today, chasing a couple of guys, you know, I was able to gain sort of 2-3 car lengths on some of the guys as I was chasing, so the package is good. If I look at everyone else that's been out there today, it's been a trying time, a trying weekend for not just myself, but a lot of drivers. Quite a few breakages. You'd see a lot of drivers out there today that are driving in borrowed cars, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, hey, the guys that are sitting on the podium today, congratulations. So next round we're heading along to Mount Smart Stadium, 7th and 8th of November. Awesome round last year. It's a night event. Really looking forward to it. We'll have the car set up by then, and I'm excited.